The moment Leo stepped through the heavy steel doors of the correctional facility, a chilling realization washed over him. The weight of his crime hung heavily on his shoulders, a constant reminder of the life he had left behind. The deafening clang reverberated through the stark halls, echoing in the confines of his mind as he took tentative steps into this new, unforgiving world. Inmates eyed him with a mix of curiosity and hostility, their hardened expressions revealing lives steeped in struggle and survival. The air was thick with the scent of despair, yet amid the desolation, Leo felt the faint stirrings of resilience. As he navigated the labyrinth of concrete and solitude, the distant shouts from the yard filled his ears, a grim symphony of hopelessness. Hungry for connection, Leo knew he would have to confront his own demons if he ever hoped to find solace within these walls. Leo found himself swallowed by the sterile gray walls of the facility, each step echoing in the cavernous hallways. His thoughts raced back to a life defined by vibrant colors, passion, and dreams of becoming a renowned artist. The crime of passion that led him here felt like a distant memory, yet its weight clung to him like an anchor. In the stillness of his cell, he ached for the companionship of his paintbrush, the soothing strokes on canvas that once offered him solace. Outside, laughter and warmth filled the air, starkly contrasting the icy silence surrounding him now. Whispered conversations between inmates filtered through the walls, a reminder of the bonds forged in shared suffering. Each muted shout from the yard reverberated through his chest, intensifying the isolation that clawed at his spirit. Art had always been his means of expression. Could it become his lifeline as well? Sophia took a deep breath as she entered the facility, the sterile air heavy with the scent of concrete and regret. A former social worker, she had dedicated her life to helping others find their way through creativity. With Leo's uncertain presence lingering in her thoughts, she recalled her first encounter with the inmates. Often hardened by their circumstances, they bore the weight of their choices etched on their faces. Yet, the flicker of hope she saw in their eyes encouraged her. In her workshops, Sophia introduced the transformative power of art as a means of healing. She emphasized the importance of connection, affirming that vulnerability could lead not just to personal growth, but to a community strengthened by shared struggles. As brushes slid over canvas and stories unfolded in sacred trust, Sophia felt the barriers between dreams and despair begin to crumble. The sounds of laughter and conversation began to resonate, offering Leo a lifeline he never knew he needed. In the dimly lit workshop, Leo hesitated at the door, the weight of his emotions pressing heavily on his chest. It was his first time attending Sophia's art class, and an overwhelming mix of anxiety and curiosity coursed through him. As he stepped inside, the atmosphere shifted. Laughter mingled with the soft rhythm of brushes gliding over canvas. Fellow inmates were engrossed in their creations, each stroke a tapestry of unspoken stories, revealing glimpses of hope beneath the hardened surfaces. Hesitant yet drawn in, Leo grabbed a pencil, its weight both familiar and foreign in his hand. As he began to sketch, the tension in his shoulders eased, and the inhibitions that had kept him locked away began to dissolve. The vibrant exchanges and supportive murmurs from those around him painted a picture of solace. In that moment, within these four walls, Leo discovered a sense of community, a fragile yet profound connection that began to heal the wounds of his past. As the days passed, Leo found himself grappling with the complexities of his past, driven by the haunting memories that echoed in the confines of his mind. Enter Marcus, a fellow inmate, whose story soon captivated him. One day, seated together in the corner of the yard, Marcus began to unravel the web of trauma that had brought him to this desolate place. Through broken sentences, he recounted the turmoil within his family, the anger that had boiled over into violent choices, and the regret that now settled deep in his bones. The muffled sobs of nearby inmates underscored his confessions, creating an atmosphere thick with vulnerability. Leo listened intently, recognizing the shared weight of their experiences. In those moments, both men confronted their pain, igniting a flicker of hope for forgiveness and healing. Lost in reflection, they realized that the journey toward redemption often began with the courage to face one's darkest truths. In the heart of the facility, the walls that once echoed despair began to resonate with the vibrancy of creativity. art became a lifeline for many inmates, guiding them through their darkest moments. Leo and his fellow inmates immersed themselves in various projects, ranging from painting to poetry, uncovering stories hidden beneath layers of regret. Each brushstroke and penned verse served as a cathartic release, offering glimpses of their true selves. As Sophia facilitated the workshops, the supportive atmosphere blossomed, allowing raw emotions to surface. Inmates shared not just their artwork but also the stories behind them, testaments to resilience and transformation. Laughter and applause filled the air, mingling with hesitant whispers of vulnerability. The sound of footsteps on the floor became an echo of hope rather than despair, a reminder that within these walls, art was forging connections and healing hearts, slowly dismantling the barriers that had kept them isolated for so long. As Leo settled into the rhythm of his new life within the stark confines of the correctional facility, he began to discover the threads of support woven among the inmates. Each day, he witnessed the burgeoning camaraderie among those who gathered for Sophia's workshops. In those moments, laughter broke through the heavy gloom, illuminating faces often shadowed by despair. Each stroke of a brush or the scribble of a pencil was accompanied by hushed conversations about dreams and fears. Inmates leaned on one another, sharing experiences that transcended their incarceration. The collective energy was palpable, a reminder that even within these walls, a community could flourish. As they rallied together, sharing not just art but vulnerability, they forged connections that helped to heal deeper wounds. This supportive network became their refuge, a reminder that hope could be cultivated even in the darkest of places, paving the way for personal transformation through shared journeys. As the days grew shorter and the air thickened with excitement, anticipation rippled through the correctional facility. Inmates gathered in small clusters, discussing their hopes and fears about the upcoming art showcase. Leo could feel a mixture of nerves and exhilaration coursing through him as he observed his fellow workshop participants preparing to unveil their creations. Conversations danced between laughter and solemnity as they reflected on their personal journeys and the transformation they had undergone through art. Sophia encouraged them to embrace their narratives, reminding them that their stories held power. Each stroke of a brush or line of a pencil was not just an expression, but a testament to their growth. Amid the murmurs of anticipation, Leo found himself contemplating the weight of his past, yet he felt a spark of possibility flicker within him. The art showcase was not just an event, it was a chance to redefine their identities and break free from the cycles that once confined them. Reflections linger heavily in the small, dimly lit room as Leo and Marcus sit across from each other, their eyes filled with a mixture of understanding and vulnerability. The walls, adorned with their artwork, echo their pasts, reminding them of the choices that brought them to this point. Leo's voice trembles as he recounts the moment of his crime, a flash of passion that led to a lifetime of regret. Marcus, sharing his own burdens, reveals the family dynamics that once enveloped him in anger and sadness, each confession punctuated by the silence of shared pain. The air thickens with emotion as they confront their regrets, the profound weight of forgiveness looming large. In these moments, they discover the power of vulnerability, releasing the shackles of their pasts. The faint sound of distant sobs serves as a reminder that healing is a journey, one that unfolds as they bravely confront the echoes of their past. The day of the art showcase finally arrived, a moment Leo had envisioned countless times in his mind, yet it felt surreal as he stood in front of his peers. The air was thick with nervous energy, anticipation intertwining with the anxiety that came from sharing pieces of their souls with an audience. Inmates huddled together, exchanging encouraging words and laughter, their collective spirit forming a fragile safety net. As Leo stepped toward the front, his heart raced, each beat echoing the journey he had taken from despair to hope. The vibrant colors of his painting reflected his struggles and aspirations, each brushstroke telling a story yearning to be heard. Applause erupted as the first few artworks were revealed. A cacophony of cheers and nervous chatter filled the room, piercing through the sterile prison walls, suddenly transforming them into an arena of validation and hope, if only for a moment. After the art showcase, A palpable mix of relief and apprehension filled the common area as inmates gathered to reflect on the event. Faces flushed with excitement spoke volumes about their shared experience, while the quieter tones revealed lingering doubts. Leo found himself deep in conversation with Marcus, each articulating the weight of their vulnerabilities and the newfound sense of purpose ignited by their art. Sophia returned, her warm presence filling the room as she offered encouraging words and constructive feedback, reminding them of the significance embedded in their creative expressions. Among the laughter and applause echoed reflections of success, disappointment, and validation, each story layered with the complexity of the human experience. The inmates contemplated their identities in this fragile space of newfound hope, buoyed by the realization that their creativity had not only transformed their perceptions of themselves, but also intertwined their destinies, creating bonds that transcended their pasts. As the echoes of creativity lingered in the air, inmates began to contemplate the broader implications of their work. Their art, once a personal outlet, now offered a window for others to glimpse their humanity beyond prison walls. Conversations among the group transformed as they shared hopes of reaching the outside world, dreams of acceptance, understanding, and a second chance. Through poignant discussions, they voiced aspirations for lives where their mistakes were not the sole definition of their identities. Interviews with prison staff revealed a shift in perception. Many acknowledged that rehabilitation could stem from such creative expressions. The walls, often intruding with the weight of stigma, began to dissolve under the power of art. As stories unfolded, a collective yearning emerged, a desire to alter how society views incarceration, fostering empathy and breaking the cycle of judgment ironically encapsulated within the very institution designed to rehabilitate. It was clear that their voices surged beyond confinement, echoing a narrative of redemption. As the echo of the last applause faded, each inmate felt a shift within. Art had intricately woven itself into their identities. For Leo, the brushstrokes had transformed his despair into a colorful tapestry of hope, a stark contrast to the gray walls that confined him. He reflected on the possibilities that lay beyond the bars, envisioning a life where his creativity could inspire others, rather than be hidden in shadows. Marcus joined him in this contemplation, sharing his dreams of using his art to tell stories of redemption that resonate with others who face similar struggles. It was no longer just about surviving, it was about thriving, seeking connection, and healing through their shared expressions. Each inmate found their journey intertwining as they began to envision futures that transcended their pasts. The once isolated walls now reverberated with a promise of freedom, where creativity served as a bridge to new beginnings, illuminating the path ahead.